So, welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Playbook podcast. And this is another video in the Winter Olympics Explainer series. So, I'm here to talk about a sport which asks you to do two impossible things back to back. So, you have to first ski like you're being chased and then shoot as if you're a sniper. I'm, of course, talking about the biathlon, which is the only Olympic sport where speed means nothing without control. So, what is biathlon? So, biathlon is a winter sport that combines cross country skiing with rifle shooting. And athletes do two things over and over again. So, they first ski hard over snow, stop at a shooting range, shoot five targets, and then ski again. And the goal is pretty simple: finish the race in the shortest time possible. But here's where the twist comes. So first of all, the skiing sends your heart rate through the roof, and shooting demands total calm. And one mistake can erase minutes of hard work. So, if cross country skiing alone is about endurance, the biathlon is about endurance under pressure. So, a brief history. So, the biathlon actually began as a survival skill. So, it originated in the Scandinavian and Alpine regions where soldiers and hunters traveled long distances on skis carrying rifles. So, it evolved over time into military patrol races, which evolved into a sport. And the rules were standardized in the 20th century. And biathlon became an Olympic event in 1960. Since then, we've had the Nordic nations shaping the early dominance of this particular sport. And then, of course, we had the introduction of science and precision transforming the way training is done in this sport. And today, the biathlon is one of the most followed Winter Olympic sports in Europe and worldwide as well. And don't forget, the women's biathlon was added in 1992, and it is now fully equal in Olympic status. So, what's involved in this particular sport? So let's start with the race structure. So every biathlon race follows a particular rhythm. You ski a loop first, then you enter the shooting range, you shoot five targets, and then you ski again. Of course, the distances and formats will change, but this mental test will always remain the same. Now, the shooting rules are very key over here. There are two shooting positions: prone, wherein you're lying down at a more stable place, and standing, which is you're standing upright. It's more harder and, of course, a lot more riskier. And each missed shot has consequences. Those consequences which I spoke about, there are a lot of penalties involved. So depending on the format, so if you're talking about the sprint, pursuit, or relay, each shot you miss involves the skier having to do a 150-meter penalty loop. And in an individual race, each miss or shot equals 1 full minute added to your total time. So let's just say the biathlon punishes impatience. So speed alone is never enough in a lot of cases. Now in the relays, there's a lot more drama. So in the relay races, athletes do get spare bullets, but these spare bullets lead to the reloading time costing time. And when you miss too many, you still have to do all the penalty loops. So let's just say relays reward composure, not just your raw talent. So, biathlon and Milano-Cortina will be held in Antholz and Selva, which is one of the most iconic biathlon venues in the world. This venue is pretty unique because it sits at high altitude where there's thinner air and faster fatigue, of course. And here, the wind conditions can change shot by shot. And the crowd is close, loud, and relentless. And Antholz has had past history of, hosting countless World Cup races here. So that means, athletes have a knowledge about the track. But that familiarity can also bring a lot of expectation, especially for the European and not to forget the local Italian competitors. And at this venue, your shooting accuracy matters a whole lot more. So here are a few facts about this particular sport. Athletes shoot with heart rates well over 170 beats per minute. And rifles are carried on the back for the entire length of the race. And while the penalty loop could look short, it could end up feeling very endless when you're exhausted. And most biathlon races are decided in the final shooting round. So in this sport, it's rather easy. It's rather easier to ski fast than stand still. Let's put it that way. So the top countries here are, of course, Norway, Germany, France, Sweden, and of course the local Italians. And the people to watch are Quentin Fillon Maillet, who's like the complete athlete in biathlon, and of course Sturla Holm Legreg, sorry for the pronunciation there, who's one of the most accurate shooters in the sport. Whereas on the women's side, there is Dorothea Viera, who's the face of Italian biathlon, let's put it that way. And there'll be a lot of expectation on her, let's put it that way. So all this is to say, the biathlon is unforgiving. So you can be the fastest skier on the course, but you can lose everything with just one missed shot. So let's hope that as you try to watch the biathlon at Milano-Cortina, you're able to understand what you're watching. Please drop a like and subscribe to this video. Thank you.